Hi all, good afternoon, happy Tuesday. So today I wanted to talk about the second question for the alternative model of the year competition, which is taking place next month on the 17th, and it's going to be in Newcastle. So pipe. Oh, and I suppose another wee quick update that the Red Riding Hood photo shoot photos are looking pretty good. We're about halfway through getting them to me. I've got a couple of favourites already, so we'll be seeing those at the weekend, I think. Yeah, the weekend's probably a good time. So today's question is, why do you think it's important to celebrate individuality and diversity within the modelling industry? In what way would you promote this yourself? So it's a two-part question. So again, these questions feel as if I could just sort of ramble on about them forever, but I'll try and keep it fairly brief because I don't think they want me to do an hour-long presentation on them. I don't think that would be the best. It's me getting a text. So to answer the first part, why do you think it's important to celebrate individuality and diversity within the modelling industry? So simply because life is diverse. Life is, everyone's an individual, so we should be celebrating that and everything that we as a people are creating. So modelling, fashion, media, there should always be some sort of representation for what already exists. We should already be celebrating what is naturally occurring. And I mean, we all know the whole we're all different. If we were all the same, it'd be boring. Like, we've heard it a million times. We've said it in a million different ways. So I think the key word in this is celebrate. It's not enough to just represent. We have to show that it's good and positive to be alternative, or to look alternative, or to like alternative things. Like, if you say to someone, oh yeah, if you like tattoos, that's okay, that's not as effective as going, oh, tattoos are really cool, there's this tattoo convention, and oh, this person has really cool tattoos, and oh, did you see this tattoo artist, or look, I'm covered in tattoos. I wish. So celebrating is more important, I would say, than just being accepting. So that would be the first part of that answered, with less humming and hawing, hopefully. The second part is, in what way would you promote this yourself? Talking about individuality and diversity in the modelling industry. Now, usually if someone asks me how would I promote being an individual and being diverse, I would kind of be like, hello. But in the world of alternative fashion, blue hair really isn't much. I have one facial piercing so far, and two tattoos, both of which are fairly subtle for the time being, and not always visible. For example, right now you can't see that I have a tattoo on my shoulder, and I'm wearing jeans, so you can't see the one that's on my thigh. But I think the way that I would be promoting individuality, can't speak today, and diversity would be continuing to be myself and continuing to promote self-love and body confidence and body positivity, because as much as there is a lot more of it now, I feel as if it's still something we're not very good at. In today's world, it's very easy to see a picture on Instagram or Facebook or Pinterest or wherever and go, I don't look like that. I'm not as good as that. And that's really negative and toxic. So instead of comparing ourselves all the time, I feel we should just acknowledge that, yes, I like how that person looks, but also I like how I look and I like this aspect of me. And even if we're not super great with our body confidence, I feel like we should still be trying to accept the parts of us that we're not keen on. Like, I get really self conscious about my tummy. It is an ongoing struggle. But this year, especially, I made a very concentrated effort to show off my tummy. I wore a lot of crop tops. I bought a lot of crop tops. And I just went out and wore them. And I know that sounds really dumb and straightforward, but it's been something that I've worried about since I was like 14. Like, so it was quite a big step for me to be able to go out in a belly top and feel comfortable. Don't get me wrong, still have my wobbly days. I still have days where I'm like, nope, I'm not showing you my tummy. But it's a process. You get there. But getting back to the question, tangents. So I would be promoting individuality and diversity by sharing my story, my journey of self-love with my followers, with you guys. Because being a curvy alternative model, it's kind of like a niche. Like, nowadays it's a growing niche, granted, but it's still a group that doesn't have a lot of attention, I feel. So if I were to win, which would be awesome, I feel like that would put a lot of attention on this little niche that I fall into. And I feel like that would be really, really good for the industry in general. Because I think seeing a variety of body shapes and sizes is really important for everyone just to understand that people of shapes and sizes do exist and do get to be winners of competitions or front cover models or whatever. So I think that would be my way of promoting individuality and diversity, by continuing to be me and being proud of being different and encouraging other people to see the good in themselves and to learn to love themselves and realize that you don't need other people to give you their approval or say that you're the best of the best or whatever. You don't need it. Yes, it's nice to have it, but if you can learn to love yourself and not need validation from other people, then that's the best thing for it, really. Like, if you can drown out all of the negativity, then you don't need to worry about it after that. Is my thoughts on the matter. So I feel like that's the question answered. Again, a bit long, and I'll need to get that into one fluid answer instead of going on 12 different tangents. But basically, I think it's important to celebrate diversity within the modelling industry because art should reflect life, and we should be able to see ourselves in all aspects of life. And I would promote this by continuing to promote self-love and body positivity and acceptance in all aspects of my life, especially in my modelling. See, that was a fairly succinct answer. On the day I'm just going to be all nerves and my tongue's going to be tied in 12 knots and stuff. But yeah. Oh, and I should be able to do a sort of makeup prep video soon. I'm just waiting on a few bits and pieces arriving, and then I'm probably going to start doing makeup tests to see how I want to style my hair and makeup for the competition. So I'll record that and we'll have a good laugh. But I think that's all for today. I've got to go send a gazillion emails. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.